October marks Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I sat down with Ted German, the Director of Training at Emerge, to talk about what domestic violence means and how we can prevent it.
Domestic violence is a constellation of behaviors, including, but not restricted to, physical violence, acts of intimidation, and behaviors that are scary.
In your studies, in your work, has domestic violence been underreported or overreported?
I think that there are many incidents of domestic violence that don't get reported, incidents of violence and abuse which don't get reported, and there are lots and lots of relationships that never come to light or never publicly become known.
How do you think our society creates an environment that allows domestic violence to happen?
We are talking about people being taught to feel like they have the right to have power over other people. And there are many different ways in which that can happen. And there are potentially many different contributing factors. There can be individual psychological factors, but there are also always ongoing cultural factors. So one of them is gender relationships and learning how to be, quote unquote, a man or a woman in our society. And historically speaking, and down to this day, there are different paths that are stereotypically taught by looking at advertising and our culture, taught by how people respond to you at school, in your family, what you observe in your family. So you're observing history, you're observing your father and your mother living out gender roles. And so you have these examples, and we grow up, we learn by imitating and processing and interpreting what's going on around us. And as you grow up and you grow older out of your family of origin, then peers and the general culture have more and more influence over you. And at each level, if you're receiving messages and learning about how to be a certain way in a relationship, that's part of how we learn what to do in relationships.
What do you think we as a society need to do specifically to end domestic violence?
I think that it would be very helpful if we had educational programming starting at a young age, talking about bullying and dominating and actively working against that, okay, in school situations. I think we'd have to be sensitized to how we reinforce, either wittingly, indirectly, or directly, gender roles that are not compatible with creating fair, respectful, egalitarian relationships.
Thank you so much, Ted. For Arlington Public News, I'm Erica Matera-Benoon.